Hello, so today's going to be a little bit of a fun one. This is an older game that I played with Draconic Mastery. So Draconic Mastery is something they added to the game. I really didn't like it. They removed it and then they re-added it back now, reworked. I really hate it. I think that this Draconic Mastery, if you have a good spot for it, you basically can go first for free. That's how it feels. Maybe I'm wrong. But in a lot of the games, whenever somebody takes it, I feel like they always have like a Smolder 2 at one point and it's just miserable. Or it's kind of like a pretty reliable top 4. Like you can, even if you have a bad spot for it, I feel like you can get a 4th pretty easily with it. I want to try it out this game, so I don't think my spot's particularly good for it. As you can see, it's a Trainer Sentinel game. So I looked around. I don't have the best Trainer Sentinel. I have Blaster on my Trainer Sentinel. So I could play towards Varus Blasters. Now this VOD, I want to make it very clear, was very, very early on in the patch. So I wasn't as comfortable with playing around leveling to play Blasters. So without having good items for it, I wasn't sure if I was going to play towards a Varus and Blasters. Now, seeing with a Preserver, a Blaster, and a Pyro Emblem, yes, it's obviously the better option would be to play towards Blasters. I want to make that very, very clear. If you see a dummy like that, you're pretty much just playing Varus. 6 Blaster Varus is very strong. Here at Draconic Mastery, the way I see it is that I can make use of Preservers if I can make it to level 9, because I can just play Vertical Shapeshifter. I can play Shyvana with the Nomzi with the Blaster to synergize with the Smolder, and then I can just play around that, right? So that's my thought process with it. I don't have the best spot. As you can see, I took it without having any copies of Shyvana or Nomzi. Now, the reason I took it was because I wanted to try it out, right? So this game is to introduce it and to show you roughly how to play it with a little bit of insight of how it went right, how it went wrong. But I just wanted to try it out because I see everybody always insta-clicking it from the worst spots, and they're always so incredibly difficult to deal with late game. So I just wanted to try it out for myself and see exactly how it would work out. Now, obviously, I didn't have a good spot for it. I want to make that very clear. My items aren't even good for it. I could have easily played towards something like Varus. I have a glove. I could have open forwarded until I made it to like neutral rounds, and then I could have made an IE, and then you play IE on Varus, and that would have been a way better option with this particular line, or with this particular dummy. That would have been a better particular line to play. But obviously, I just want to try out this augment. So, you know, that being said, let's try it out. Did I have a Shyvana at the start? I don't even know if I had a Shyvana, but I have Shyvana 2 now, which is pretty good. I'm going to show the stats for it a little bit. I haven't shown the stats in a couple of these videos because I'm a little bit out of the touch with it. But I think it averages pretty good Draconic Mastery. Yeah, it's a 4.26. It's a sub 4. It's pretty good. It's very reliable. And as you can see, as soon as you have a Smolder, you'll see that the average drops like quite a bit. It's mostly like if you can get to Smolder. If you read Draconic Mastery, it should come up if I hover it. Dragons gain 10% health and 18% attack speed. After dragons score 60 champions takedown, you will then gain a Smolder. So you start with a Nomzi and a Shyvana, and basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to just get a bunch of 60 takedowns. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you get multiple 60 takedowns, you get multiple cash outs of the Smolder, and that's where it can really snowball, because you'll get 1 or even 2 copies of Smolder, and then you only have to find 1 copy or a duplicator later in the game, and then you'll have a Smolder 2, and then out of nowhere you just got gifted a 5 cost 2-star in addition to having an already structured board. In terms of the traits that you usually play, you just play Vertical Shapeshifter. It's usually 6 Shapeshifter or 8 Shapeshifter. And then in terms of like Blasters, you usually don't play that many. You're usually just playing 2 Blaster to synergize with the Smolder. So a lot of times you're just playing this like the old Shapeshifter Varus build, right? It would be something like this. This was a comp that was a little bit more meta towards the end of last patch, beginning of this patch. Now it's more optimized. You just play 6 Blasters because of how strong 6 Blaster is. But usually you'll play something kind of that looks like this on level 9. If you can make it to level 9. So this was the old board. So you start with like a Twitch Nomzi opener, and then you play around Nomzi until you find a Varus, then you swap the items off the onto the Varus, and you play something like this. This is usually what the board kind of looks like. Now in terms of Draconic Mastery with Shyvana, I think Shyvana, if you read her abilities, her dragon upgrade is that she gets this huge aura that deals more damage, and basically the way that she works, she'll dive the backline based on her HP as well as her AP. She'll do magic damage to a group of enemies, right? And she also does a stun. I think the best items on Shyvana, usually you definitely want to have a crown guard. And then the rest of them are pretty flexible, but you want some sort of healing item. I think D-Claw is really good, but I'm just going to put Redemption here just for sake of example. And then any other tank item is usually pretty good. Noms you want to build with as much AD as possible. So a lot of times you're building him with something like a IE, Deathblade, things like that, like sword items. I'll just put an IE on the Nomsy for now. But typically you want something that will heal a bunch of the HP because you're going to gain so much HP and attack speed from the actual trait. And then something like Crown Guard, it gives you like a little bit of a second lease at life, quote unquote, because it gives you this huge max health shield, as well as gives you a bunch of ability power. But a lot of times you're just trying to build like AP tank items to make Shyvana be like an attack fighter. You want her to kind of do a lot of damage, and what you'll do is you'll usually roll for Nomsy 3-star and Shyvana 3-star. Sometimes you'll even roll for like a Twitch 3-star, for example, when you're doing this type of line, just because it's a little bit more reliable. Right, like your early game board might look something like this. Sorry, there should be, what's her name, Elise here, right? Your level 6 board, you can roll on level 6 and you just go for Shyvana 3 to stabilize. And that's usually what you do when you're playing this comp. You're just trying to reroll shapeshifters, and you're trying to reroll Shyvana early because you get cash outs for the dragons takedowns. You want the dragons to do a lot of the damage and to get a lot of those takedowns, so it makes sense to upgrade the Shyvana and just Shyvana reroll. Before, the reason Draconic Mastery is so much better now is because it gives you the Smolder. Before, it didn't give you Smolder, so you have to make it to eventually getting one Smolder. So you want to win a lot of the early game fights. As you can see, I slam Crown Guard. That's like my best option, I think, given my starting items, what I can make. And you want to try and get as many kills as possible. This is the part where it becomes very, very risky, and why I suggest you should take it in a good spot. If you have a good spot for it, it's almost guaranteed, like, you know, top 1, top 2, top 3, right? It's very hard to bot for if you have a good spot for this. The problem is that a lot of on stage 2 and stage 3 is where you want to get all of these takedowns. When everybody's really weak, if you have a Shyvana and a Nomsy and you have items and you're actually strong, Shyvana Nomsy, especially if you have a Nomsy upgrade and a Twitch upgrade, like that type of board, is already a board that is very, very strong, right? A lot of times you will start with a Hunter Shapeshifter board, and that will streak you into neutrals, and that will often put you in a good spot to play around Varus and Shapeshifters or Varus and Blasters. Those lines, usually you start from a win streak, and that's because of how reliable Nomsy Twitch is in just killing early game units and just getting you off on a good start. Combine that with Draconic Mastery. If you have a spot for it, like let's say I started with like an IE here, or I started with like Nomsy 2, you'll win a lot of the rounds early game, and that will give you the takedowns that you need in order to get a Smolder. And then when you get to level 8, you're just gonna have a free Smolder to put with your Varus, to put with the rest of your board, and all of a sudden you just spike incredibly hard because now you have a Smolder that gets attack speed, gets HP, 3 dragons. Smolder now gets a bonus like 30% damage amp or 30% extra damage because that's his dragon ability now, because they changed it. So everything just works really, really well, and it all revolves around getting this Smolder. As you can see, I only have 16 takedowns though. That's a little bit less than I would want, and it's because I lost 3 out of the 5 rounds. Ideally, you're winning a lot more rounds on stage 2, and then by the time you get to stage 4, it's like early stage 4 and you already have a Smolder. That's like the game winning spot. That's why I say, obviously, I took this augment, I said it before, and I'll say it again, because, you know, I took it with the idea that, you know, I wanted to try it out. Right? That's the main thing. I just wanted to try it out. I don't think this was the best spot for it. I think I could have played around my Trainer Sentinel a lot better, obviously. I think I could have played Blasters and Varus and Pyro. Even 5 Pyro Varus might have been better than this. I just really, really, really wanted to try it out because I didn't get a chance to try it out yet. And I thought it would be really cool. And this was probably on stream at one point. So, you know, I wanted to do the hype or the fun thing. You know, like, hey, let's just do the fun one. That's just what ended up happening. So by all means, please take that into account. Here I'm just putting in 4 Shapeshifter. I think my Shyvana is doing a little bit more damage and work than my Nomsy. So I'm kind of down to make my front line a little bit better. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend taking any of these forcing augments unless you have somewhat of a good spot for it. Right? If I started with a Nomsy 2 and I saw Draconic Mastery, it's an instant click, obviously. If I had 2 Nomsies and I hit Draconic Mastery, it's an instant click because I'll upgrade my Nomsy. But I started with 0 Nomsies and I took it. So far, the only Nomsy I've seen is the Nomsy that I got. And I'm not going to roll for Nomsy 3 here because I think that's going to put me too far away from my goals to try and cap out this game really high. As you can see, Nomsy 1, I'm having trouble killing these Swains. I'm having trouble dealing with everything, to be honest. So I'm not winning a lot of these early game fights. And that's going to have a huge impact later in the game, which you will probably see. Now, I do have Shyvana 2 already, which is pretty good. But, you know, we just got to work on this early game at least. Row Rejuvenation is kind of interesting. Featherweights is also interesting. I think I just took Featherweights. Yeah, I just took Featherweights because I'm trying to play around Shyvana, Namzi. I think Featherweights is a bit of a throw, though. Here I'm just rolling a little bit. I'm basically just rolling till 30. I found a Varus, which is really cool, so I can play Varus. Yeah, I don't think it was Featherweights, by the way. I'm pretty sure Featherweights is pretty bad here. Because I'm not relying on Shyvana late game, so I don't think you should take Featherweights. I think that was just a mistake. I think I was just trying to, like, play towards this line. I think it's a bad idea. So Featherweights is really good if you have Namzi 3, Shyvana 3. But the chances are I'm probably not going to hit Namzi 3. And I'm probably not going to hit Shyvana 3 in a decent amount of time. So Featherweights is probably way worse than something like Row Rejuvenation, which would that just make my Shyvana a lot tankier, which is usually a little bit better, right? The tankier she is, the more damage she could end up doing, which would probably be more fun. Okay, let's see here. I'm decently strong now. I'm getting close to cash out though. I think I'm at 30 something, or maybe not 30 something, but I'm getting a lot more kills these rounds because at least the ones that I win. Reroll with all 1 cost. Yeah, this is just rough. This is a testament of taking in a bad spot, by the way. If I had a Namzi 2, Namzi 2 can usually streak you well into stage 4. Right? If you don't have a Namzi 2 off rip, you're just in a very, very bad spot, even with Draconic Mastery. I think that's the main problem here. If I had Namzi 2, it would be way, 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 way more stable. Because that's just like a good board already, right? That's already a board that's very, very strong. So, yeah. It is what it is. Let's just see some of these kills now, and let's just try and figure this out exactly how we're going to make this work. Shyvana is going to be really, really strong for a lot of these fights as long as they don't have upgrades. I might even win this fight because I just need Namzi to cast once or twice more. Ooh, it's going to be close. Come on, Varus. Clutch up, Varus. Oh, it's not a win. Okay, I'm at 30 takedowns, so I'm halfway to the Smolder. That's what I was saying, right? If you win the fights on stage 2, which I didn't win, I would be almost guaranteed by the end of stage 3 to have a Smolder. So you basically start stage 4 with a Smolder, and that's when it becomes broken. If you're not starting stage 4 with a Smolder, you're probably not going to get like those high placements. And that's what I was saying by this spot's like bad for that reason. Do I just take the Namzi for the upgrade? That's so rough. I have to take a 1 cost. I want the tier because I want to make a redemption on Shyvana, because I like redemption on Shyvana. It gives healing, gives some damage reduction. Yeah, there's just a lot of boards that are very strong. There's also a Galio reroller that's probably going to spike harder than me. It's a little bit awkward. I roll till Charm here. I just wanted to like stabilize a little bit. The main reason is that I want to win a couple more fights on stage 3 just so I get my Smolder early enough. If I don't get my Smolder early enough, I think that I'll fall way too far behind. My items is also a low item galaxy so far, so it's a little bit awkward because I would much rather prefer to have some extra items here. If I can itemize this Shyvana and itemize this Namzi, I'll be a way, way, way stronger, which would help me out a lot in these mid-game fights. But like I said, I'll reiterate it once again. I don't think Featherweights was the best option. Featherweights is really good if you have Namzi 3, but if you're not playing around the Namzi 3, the Twitch 3, like that type of reroll line, it pretty much does nothing because you're going to be relying on Smolder later in the game anyways to do a lot of your damage. So Featherweights was pretty low value. Probably would have been better to take almost any other any other silver augment. And then Draconic Mastery, I took this just to try it out, right? So this is what I would call one of the worst spots for Draconic Mastery, and let's see how well we place. That's like the idea behind it, and hopefully it was clear in my explanation. I know that also for those of you that actually watch the videos and like I repeat myself a lot, I feel bad for you guys. Yes, I know that I repeat myself a lot. Here I'm just rolling for Charm, and I'm rolling a bit deeper. I just want to get some upgrades because I need to get this cash out. That's my thought process here. So I'm kind of sacrificing a little bit of econ because I was basically like, I'll roll till Charm. Then the first Charm wasn't that good, so I rolled till another Charm, and then I want to make sure that I get I get the Smolder next in as early as possible, right? 34, it's not looking good. But anyways, I repeat myself a lot in these videos. Most people don't watch the videos. I get the amount of comments I get and the amount of like dumb shit that people say that they just clearly haven't watched the video, and it's like something that I address in the video. It's like I have to, that's why I end up repeating myself a lot, because I feel like when I don't repeat myself, it's just miserable. Also, this guy recon-bobbed into a Briar, by the way. This guy had Eldritch Emblem, and he recon-bobbed, and he has a Briar and a Milio. I just want to say, there's some high rollers in this lobby. Like, really, really high rollers in this lobby. So, like, take that into account as well, right? There's a guy that's playing towards Vertical Fairy. He already has a Recon. This guy recon-bobbed into a Briar. So, he's 7 Eldritch without even playing shit units. He's playing, like, Briar. You know, that's kind of nutty. But anyways, we probably want to roll until Shyvana 3, and then we can stabilize around Shyvana 3. Shyvana 3 with Draconic Mastery, she actually does a lot of work. So, it's actually really nice to have. And of course, we're going to switch the items from the Nomsy onto a Smolder for later in the game. But like I said, if you won most of your fights, like let's say you see my stage 3, I lost most of the fights. Stage 2, I lost most of the fights. That's because I started from a really bad spot. If I started this game and I had like, I won all of stage 3 because I had Nomsy 2, and then I won most of stage, I won all of stage 2 and I won most of stage 3, I would already be almost cashing out, if not already having cashed out the Smolder. I know that sounds really whack, but I think it needs some adjustment. Like maybe change it from 60 to 70 or something, because the amount of times that shit happens, it is so annoying. Because a lot of times in stage 3, there's 5 fights and each unit has 6 units. So a lot of times if you win every fight on stage 3, you just get 30 charges on the dragon meter thing. And then if you win on stage 2, you get a bunch more. So usually by like 4-1, 4-2, right? I don't mean like you cash out before 4-1. I mean like right now, if you win this fight and you win the next fight, usually you have a Smolder already. If you actually have a good spot for the augment, which is like ridiculous. This guy looks pretty weak because he's only Galio 1, so we might be able to get some nice kills. He's level 6 though, so we don't get that many charges on the Draco meter. Ooh, let's see, do we get the kill? Nice, we get the kill. See, so I'm at 47 right now, right? I'm at 47, I lost most of my fights on stage 2 and stage 3. Imagine if I won most of my fights on either stage 2 or stage 3. I would get at least like, you know, 5 to 10 more charges. I'd already be cashing out next turn, guaranteed, almost. Here we have Support Golem. Support Golem is one of the best augments in the game. You almost always take it because a support item is really good, and just having an extra unit on your board is often very good. Here I got Aegis. Aegis gives armor and attack speed to all your units. It actually works out really well because I'm playing Shapeshifter. So that's one of the best things I could have hit for my Golem. So I'm just gonna arrange everybody like underneath this Golem. And I'm rolling a bit deep here, obviously. I want this Shyvana 3 as early as possible. I made Adaptive Helm. I don't know if it was hold on to the tier and make Gargoyle, but I feel like Gargoyle isn't that good value on her. It's okay, like don't get me wrong, because she dives the backline, a lot of units target her, so she'll get a lot of armor from the Gargoyle. But I think I just wanted more AP, and I think that Adaptive Helm just gives a little bit more in terms of like value, in terms of it gives you like a bunch of armor and MR off rip. Right, so instead of having to worry about getting targeted a bunch in order to proc the Gargoyle to get value off of it, Adaptive Helm gives her some AP as well as some armor and magic resist, so it's like just a little bit more well-rounded as of an item. That's why I chose that particular item set. I could have slammed Gargoyle and then hold on to the tier for redemption. I think the only reason I would do that is because I want to hold on to the tier for redemption, obviously. If I had redemption, then my Shyvana could heal a bunch of her HP because she's going to have a bunch of HP playing Vertical Shapeshifter. But like I said, we just leveled to 7 here. We're just trying to be super stable. We have 6 Shapeshifter in. I know I don't have the Nomsy thing, but we're kind of playing around Shyvana carry. Shyvana does a lot of damage with the Draconic Mastery. It's specifically with Draconic Mastery that this works out. And I'm trying to arrange all my units behind this Aegis to give them a whole bunch of armor. Basically, the Shyvana will do like dot damage, and then the Nomsy can try and do some extra work. And then, of course, as soon as we hit a Smolder, we're just going to level and play the Smolder. So we don't have to roll for Smolder. I didn't hit that many Nomsies because obviously I started the game off in a bad spot to roll for Nomsy 3. But often in this type of spot, you would also have Nomsy 3 and you'd be super stable. And then you just dump in the Smolder and then all of a sudden your board's illegal. right? I'm trying to put into perspective. This is playing it from a bad spot. It's just the VOD that I have of this augment. I didn't have another VOD of this augment throughout the patch. I tried to take it before, but I never had a good spot for it. So this was like the one time that I said, fuck it, let's try it out, right? So take it in that perspective, obviously. That this, I'm not saying this is, you should always click it. I'm not saying whatever, but like, this is a lobby where there's lots of strong boards, and my spot wasn't particularly good for it. And you can see that I'm keeping pace with the lobby still. Even though I'm like level 7 low gold, I'm still keeping pace with the rest of the lobby, which is remarkable. It just means that it's really strong, even outside of, like, you know, best case scenario. And obviously, if you're in a best case scenario, you just win. That's what I was trying to explain. This is kind of awkward now because I think I'm making a gargoyle here. Right, I just took cloak and a twitch. Why am I taking a 1 cost? I have to check. Was there something better I could have taken? Surely there was something better I could have taken. Like, probably belt? Nah, belt's no good. Tier... Honestly, probably protector's vow is better. I'd probably take tier or the sword. Right? I don't think gargoyle is that important. Protector's vow probably would have been a bit better. Usually on carousel, you want to avoid taking 1 cost or low cost units. Because even if you don't need the unit in particular, the gold is really important, right? A lot of times you can make econ intervals and you're 1 or 2 off. Anyways, I hit my Smolder now. This is what I was saying before. You really want to make it to Shyvana 3 so you can play the Smolder. And then once you have the Smolder, your damage goes up by a lot. Basically, Shyvana gets more damage, Nomsy gets more damage, Smolder gets more damage. I think my items are better on Smolder here, so I'm just going to itemize the Smolder even though it's a Smolder 1. Smolder has Blaster in. My board's really good. I know I dropped from 6 Shapeshifter to 5 Shapeshifter. That's pretty bad for the damage on Shyvana, but I think the extra increase from having 3 Dragon in is going to be way more important. This guy's strong as dick, by the way. Callista, Varus 2, Fairy, Royal Guard, right? Like, this is a board that's like look at how insane this guy's board is. He's level 8, 50 gold with Varus 2, Callista, Rakan, everybody on his board. Like, literally most of them upgraded as well. And it came down to a 1 unit loss, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this guy's board, really fucking strong. My board, not necessarily that great. Also, featherweights is pretty useless. I'll say it again, right? Not necessarily the greatest thing. My Shyvana items aren't even the greatest items. You really want, like, a Declaw or a Redemption so she gets that passive healing. I kind of fumbled that a little bit. I should have played around tier in the mid game in order to guarantee that I can get a Redemption on her. But it is what it is. I'm just waiting to level, right? It's going to take me around 40 gold to level. So I can't make econ here, right? It's a little bit awkward. But we'll see how it goes. I'm holding on to these Nomsies. I could sell the Nomsies to make econ. But we'll figure it out when we get there. Like I said, wasn't the greatest spot when I started it in the game. Oh, you know what? Looking at the landscape of the board, I guess it was probably a good idea that I didn't just play Varus, right? Remember I was saying that Varus was probably the better board to play? It looks like the whole fucking lobby's playing Varus. This guy's Shapeshifter Varus, literally. So it works out. Yeah, look at this Shyvana, right? This is what I was saying, right? If the board isn't that upgraded and it's not, like, illegal, she just runs over everybody. Especially when you have 3 Dragon in. Draconic Mastery Shyvana with 3 Dragon, she just runs over everybody. And that's not even with 6 Shapeshifter. Because Shyvana's damage scales off her HP. So Shapeshifter is way more important than AP a lot of the time. Because just getting the extra HP from Shapeshifter, like, you get the base HP, and then Shapeshifters at a certain point, they get 30% more. Or they get triple the amount or whatever. So she gets like an insane amount of HP after a transformation. Anyways, I use my remover here. I'm just trying to see, like, maybe I hit a better item on Shyvana and then I can rearrange my items a little bit more. So I just use the remover because you're going to get a remover anyways, right? You're just straight up going to get one. And then here, ideally I wanted a Last Whisper for the Smolder. I don't want to make a Thieves Gloves or a Guard Breaker. I think I'm just going to make Hodge. Just to give him survivability. Sometimes Smolder just gets targeted randomly when he's like diving around the back line. So I'm not too against Hodge. It's okay. It's not the end of the world to put it on him. And now I'm just going to level here straight up just for Shapeshifter. And probably every single turn now, because it's stage 5, I'm going to roll for Charm just to try and get placements. Obviously, like I said, I'm not really playing that well with my trainer golem, right? I'm not using it that much besides blaster for the smolder, right? There's not much that's going on there. There's lots of boards that are insanely fucking strong, like this guy that had a Briar from like the start of the game because of Recon Bob. So I don't expect to win all of these fights. I don't expect to be like the strongest in the lobby. Also look, this fucking guy's chasing down my Smolder. Holy shit. Oh, my Smolder got away. Let's go, Smolder. That's why you put Hodge on Smolder. I'm joking. I don't think it's his best item, but it's pretty good. But look at that board. That guy had Briar. I'm getting chased by the fucking dude the whole time. Right? It's insane. But the damage amp that you get from 3 Dragon plus the Draconic Mastery with the attack speed and getting the Smolder, like just having an augment that guarantees you a 5 cost while buffing your low cost units, it's fucking strong. I expect it to get nerfed a little bit. Hopefully. Here I buy a Econ Charm because I'm just trying to establish my Econ. If I can make it to level 9 and play a Preserver, that would be really good for my board. Because I have a bunch of HP in the form of all of my dudes. So Preserver, it might not be the greatest thing to put in, right? Obviously, 2 Preserver isn't that important. But my thought process is, if I can fit in something like Preserver, or if I have enough gold to like resend it on a roll down on level 8, then I can cap out my board a little bit higher. Right, I have a lot of HP on my board, so giving Preserver for this type of board, even if it's only 2 Preserver, it's gonna help out quite a bit. Might even be game winning in some cases for this Shyvana. This guy is just very strong. I think he's playing like 5 or 7 Mage Galio hero, just because it works well with his trainer golem. It's very close, by the way. He has Archangel's Gwinsu. If you look at it, I almost was able to win this fight, and I feel like that guy's spot was absolutely like illegal. Like, it was very, very strong playing off his golem. But like I was saying before, right, this doesn't take that much into account the golem, and I think a lot of the other people's boards are very strong because of their golems. Imagine playing this in a normal lobby. Imagine playing this in a normal lobby where people don't have these crazy vertical traits, right? This guy has 7 Fairy for free with a random Varus. That guy has Mages for free with Vanguard and just has a bunch of extra shit on his board, right? Imagine if you're playing this in a lobby where people are just playing normal-ass boards. They're just playing normal boards they have with their normal-ass augments. You don't run into these type of crazy boards. So it just having a Smolder in makes that much of a difference. It's so massive. But that's why I wanted to try it out, right? Obviously, I can't speak to this augment being strong unless I try it out myself. Even in now, like, at least I'm showing, like, even though this wasn't necessarily the greatest spot, I'm able to get this, like, even this fight, right? This guy is like, what, 6 Shapeshifter Keepers with a Trenchcoat Olaf, and I was still able to bring him down to almost winning the fight. Pretty impressive, I would say, considering how far off I am. Anyways, there's a Smolder there. There's a Pyro Emblem, which might be interesting to take. But there's a Smolder with a Redemption. So I was talking a lot before how I wanted a Redemption on my Shyvana. So now I can swap out probably the Gargoyle. I can put the Gargoyle on somebody else. I can put Redemption on Shyvana. And now I'm Smolder paired. I don't know what my Dragon stacks are at, but like, this is what I was saying before, right? If I was in a slightly better spot, see, I'm at 102. I need 20 more takedowns, right? I'm a little bit behind, right? If I was a little bit stronger, I won a couple more fights, I would definitely be cashing out to a Smolder 2, and then out of nowhere, I have Smolder 2 with 3 items, and I just win the rest of the game. That's usually how these games go. That's why I always suggest, obviously, take it from a spot where you're in a better spot, right? Don't take it from like how I took it. This was just for science, right? This video was for science. I want to be very, very clear. Because, you know, if I had a, you know, Smolder 2 right now, I think that I could probably beat most of the players in this lobby. Because Smolder 2, Draconic Mastery, with Shyvana 3, Draconic Mastery, I'd be straight to level 9, right? It would be fucking insane if I lost. Right? Instead, I'm fighting the 7 Fairy board with Recon 2. I don't think I have enough damage with this Smolder 1. And I just have to hope that my Shyvana lives long enough to do some backline damage, right? If she can dive towards the Callista, that would be really fucking big for me, but I don't think she will. I'd probably lose this fight just from Varus, like, AoE. Yeah, I just can't shoot through this Recon. Recon has really good items, by the way. Redemption Gargoyle is also insanely good. But it should be a guaranteed top 4. I saved enough HP in the mid game That's why I sent it really aggressively with the gold early. I knew that I'd be able to stabilize so long as I got the Smolder cash out. The main way that you go bot 4 with this augment is not getting a Smolder early enough. Econ doesn't matter that much because especially with the trainer Sentinel, I can fit in Blaster for free. So my board's kind of complete on level 8. The only thing I can level for is like a Hunter, but I don't have Nomsy 3, so it doesn't matter. Or I can level for like, you know, a Preserver like I was explaining before. Like I said before, I don't think I beat any of these players now. I don't cash out into my Smolder 2. Maybe I beat this guy, who knows. I beat him last time, but I think it came down to like my Smolder being able to get away from the Eldritch Beast. We'll see how it goes. Also, yeah, see, like I got trapped and my dude just died instantly, my Smolder. That's what I was saying. If you can cash out to the Smolder 2, that's the big thing. If you hit the Smolder 2 early enough and you hit the Smolder early enough, you can play for top 4 really, really easily. So that's like the main thing. But anyways, that was the Draconic Mastery game. So typically what you're trying to do is you're just trying to play around a reroll board with shapeshifters. I'll do it again at the end because maybe somebody skips to the end of the game. It wasn't the greatest example of it. Obviously, I'm not saying this was a good example of the thing. I just wanted to show it because, like, you know, I think that it's really strong, and I think that I should give some sort of guide on some of these things, especially while I'm trying to, like, on my off week going through some old VODs. You're typically trying to play just around like 6 shapeshifter. Shyvana's gonna be your main mid game into late game carry. Nomsy will be your mid game to late game carry if you can hit the Nomsy 3. If you don't hit the Nomsy 3, it's fine because whatever your Nomsy items are, you're gonna put on Smolder anyways. And you want to try and get the cash out so that, twice so you can get Smolder 2. You usually want to take this if you are strong early, right? If you start the game with a Shyvana or you start the game with a Nom, you don't even have to have Shyvana in, by the way. But you usually want to start this game if you have multiple Nomsies, right? If you have 2 or 3 Nomsies, you can take Draconic Mastery, and then you just have to build Nomsy items, right? I think IE is really good on Nomsy, I forget. But you usually want sword items on Nomsy just because of the way that his scaling works. It does it a lot more off of the AD rather than like mixed in terms of AP. And he gives overkill onto other units, so lots of stacking AD is really good for him. So you want to give him a bunch of sword items, and if you have a good opener like that, then you can usually streak this, right? Most of the time, Nomsy Twitch or Nomsy, like, you know, an early game board, something like, where is it? Like this board, for example. This is a very common early game win streak into Varus pivot later, right? You start the game off with a Nomsy Twitch, you have Nomsy upgraded and Twitch upgraded, and you have like an Elise or a Jace. This board's very, very strong. It's very, very strong, very, very stable. So if you have a board like this, it's instant click Draconic Mastery. You almost never pass it up. Because if you have a board like this, even if it's Shyvana, like you don't have a Shyvana, it'll give you the Shyvana, right? You're so strong early. You have anti-healing because of Dragon, so your item economy is good. You just build all your Nomsy items or frontline items. You streak. You get all your kills on stage 2. You kill around 4 units per round, right? So 5 rounds of 4 units per round, you're at 20 stacks. Stage 3, you kill 5 units per round, you're at another 25 stacks. You're at 45, you kill 1 or 2 units. 4-2, you have a Smolder. GG, the game's over. Right? That's how it usually goes. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Hopefully it was enjoyable. It was a little bit of a shorter one. But I did want to show Draconic Mastery at least one time for everybody. So hopefully you can try it out in your lobbies and have fun with it. I tried it out from a really bad spot and it still got me a 4th in a really stacked lobby, in my opinion. So you know, go for it. Try it out. See if it's any good. But thank you for watching and hopefully you enjoyed it and have a great day. Bye bye.